Absolutely. Is he better than Floyd Mayweather right now?
I'm not going to sit up here and say that. I think that Floyd Mayweather was such a magician defensively. We have to look at Floyd Money Mayweather in this regard. Once he moved up to welterweight, his hands were always damaged. So he kind of knew he wasn't going to be able to knock you out for the most part. And still, he walked into the ring and put on masterful performances because he was so superior, skill-wise and defensively. You can't say enough. Tonight with Crawford, for example, we saw him take a punch on several occasions. With Floyd, we didn't see that too often.
All right, Steven, what's your reaction to this victory? Terence Crawford was sensational. What's your reaction?
Not surprised. I'm picking the win by decision coming in this fight. Watching Canelo, seeing his career, expected he wasn't going to get knocked out, especially by the smaller man. But did Crawford have enough power and boxing skill to keep Canelo off of him to some degree? For the most part, that answer was yes. But then he stepped in there and he exchanged back and forth on several occasions and survived and prospered. And I got to give credit where credit is due. I picked him to win by decision, but I never expected.
Level fighter, a gold medalist, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, but he was behind the scenes. Two guys with a crazy amateur backgrounds, and one guy is not being seen, and another guy is being seen. Then we call it an upset. No, it's just that he was working behind the scenes, and another guy was working in front of everybody. Then finally, they had to meet up, and then.
I told you, motherfuckers. What did you just watch? I only speak the facts.
I am the one who theorizes that the reason you can't knock him down is not because of his chin, it's because of his legs. And I said, why do you say that? He said, same equation. Get in, get out. Get in, get out. Yeah. Over and over and over.
All right, fellas. Now, Canelo and Crawford finally just faced off. And what a fight it was. The almost fantasy-like matchup did come true, and we just saw two of the greatest of our time share the ring. Going into this fight, the anticipation was palpable. There were so many questions swirling around. Would Crawford adapt to the weight? Could he truly withstand and absorb Canelo's power? And for Canelo, could he deliver a statement performance, silencing the criticisms that have echoed after his recent fights? Well, we certainly got all the answers. So I want to break down what just happened in the fight, what this performance means for both men, and of course, the big question, what's next? But before we dive in, if you love boxing, this is your one-stop shop. My name's Closter, and I create boxing videos as things happen to keep you informed. So make sure to subscribe, and I'll always keep you in the loop. Now, let's go back a second. Fight week didn't really throw up anything super unexpected. It was pretty much business as usual, and the reason I didn't end up covering it in detail, because there wasn't anything huge to note. The biggest surprise, if you can even call it that, was just how similar the two fighters looked in terms of size. They both looked incredible shape, and the size difference that many predicted just wasn't as pronounced as some had feared. The venue itself, Allegiant Stadium, was incredibly impressive. This was the first ever boxing fight held there, and they packed tens of thousands of fans in. The atmosphere was electric, and the spectacle was simply fantastic. Now, the undercard overall was a mixed bag. Some genuinely great fights, but also some real stinkers. Outside of the main event, though, probably the most entertaining fight on the undercard was the MB Martinez fight. So, if you missed it, it's worth a watch. But ultimately, everyone was only there for the main event. After months of hype and anticipation, the moment finally arrived. Crawford and Canelo standing across from each other under the bright lights, with only the referee, Thomas Taylor, standing in between them. That moment, you could feel the weight of expectation. This wasn't just another fight. It was a clash of titans. The opening rounds were tense, a feeling-out process as both fighters settled into a rhythm. Canelo, known for his notorious slow starts, went to the body early, trying to soften Crawford up and work his way into the fight. Crawford's southpaw jab, sharp and precise, kept him in control of the distance, disrupting Canelo's attempts to impose.
You know, we need to see the hunger that Morales, Barrera, Marquez, Chavez, Salvador Sanchez had when they know they're behind, when they know they're losing. They fucking go out there to fucking try to knock their opponents out. They go out there to try to either you knock me out or I'm gonna knock you out. They go out there to try and get that win.
The first few rounds were close, definitely competitive, but Crawford's sharper counters and combination punching seemed to give him the early edge, even as Canelo tried to impose himself with those heavy body shots. He was trying to get inside, trying to rough him up, but Crawford's jab was a constant barrier. As the fight wore on, the pace did pick up. Canelo continued digging into Crawford's ribs, trying to wear him down, while Crawford, he was countering beautifully, showcasing his timing and precision. Canelo had a slightly better round in the fifth, showcasing a burst of activity, but Crawford, clearly not liking this situation, came out in the sixth, looking to retake control. He knew he had to impose himself to stop Canelo's forward momentum, and that's exactly what he did. It was a turning point in the fight. As the fight wore on, Crawford's precision started to truly separate him from Alvarez. He peppered Canelo with those sharp combinations, finding success on the inside and timing his left hand beautifully. He wasn't just landing shots, he was landing the right shots at the right time. It was a masterclass in counter-punching. Canelo was trying to dig deep to find that knockout blow, but Crawford was just too elusive, too smart. Then, in the ninth round, an accidental clash of heads opened up a cut over Crawford's right eye, giving Alvarez a glimmer of hope. A moment like that can change a fight, but Bud remained remarkably composed. He didn't let it affect his focus or his game plan. It could have easily thrown him off, but he stayed calm and continued to execute. In the championship rounds, Crawford's confidence was clear. He was trading with Canelo on the inside, countering effectively and walking him into shots. He wasn't backing down. He was dictating the pace and demonstrating complete control. By the 12th round, it was obvious Canelo needed a knockout. He was swinging for the fences, desperate to change the momentum of the fight, but the moment never came. Crawford kept him at bay, landed crisp counters, and closed the show strong. He was frustrating Canelo's attempts, making him chase, and ultimately, frustrating his strategy. After 12 grueling rounds, the scorecards told the story. 116 to 112, 115 to 113, 115 to 111, a unanimous decision. Terence Crawford defeated Canelo Alvarez to become the undisputed super middleweight champion of the world. A historic moment, solidifying Crawford's legacy by taking down the man who many consider to be the face.
I think Crawford won 9, maybe 10 rounds out of the whole 12 rounds. One judge had it very close. I don't know why. I think Crawford clearly won. Right before the show started, I did the show we do with boxing scene, and at the end they told me, you have to say.
It was a moment that will be talked about for years to come. Crawford proved all his critics wrong. He withstood Canelo's power, stood there and traded with him, and demonstrated complete control of the range. It was a competitive fight, no question about that, but personally, I think Bud was the clear winner. Although Canelo did look better than he did against Callum Smith, in my eyes, this performance had shades of the Smith fight. Canelo just struggled to catch Crawford. Unless Canelo was standing there trading with him, Crawford was just as slick and was able to evade much of what Canelo was trying to do. He wouldn't get stuck on the ropes, he wouldn't get cornered. His lateral movement, like against Smith, just frustrated Canelo. And unlike the Smith fight, his movement, combined with his superior skills and willingness to even stand there and trade at times, was his recipe for victory. This was the fight we all hoped for, a competitive bout that answered all of our questions. But simply put, Crawford outboxed Canelo. There's really not much more to it than that. He was the more skilled fighter, the more precise fighter, and the more composed fighter. And that's what made the difference. And the significance of that is immense. It's not just about defeating Canelo. It's about achieving something very few, if any, fighters in history have managed to do. To be undisputed in 3 different weight classes. That's a level of dominance and versatility that speaks volumes about Crawford's talent and dedication. And to do it while remaining undefeated? That's just the icing on the cake. It's a testament to his longevity, his ability to adapt, and his unwavering commitment to the sport. We're talking about a fighter who hasn't just won. He's consistently outclassed his competition. He's built a legacy that's going to be talked about for generations. It's a story that transcends boxing, becoming an inspirational narrative of perseverance and triumph. And that's what makes nights like this so special. It's not just about the spectacle of 2 incredible athletes going head-to-head. It's about witnessing history in the making. It's a reminder of the power of human potential and the beauty of competition. The excitement we felt in the arena, the energy of the crowd, that's something you can't replicate on television. You have to be there, immersed in the atmosphere, to truly appreciate the magnitude of the moment. But the reality is, the world is changing, and boxing has to change with it. The involvement of Netflix, the scale of the production, it's opening up boxing to a whole new audience. This isn't your grandfather's boxing.
I think possibly that Crawford is up there with Pacquiao or Mayweather.
I think in accomplishments, he's three division undisputed. Moved up 2 divisions to beat Canelo. So he's probably he's accomplished more than Mayweather for sure. Mayweather never became undisputed, but that doesn't.
It's a global entertainment product, and Crawford's victory just amplified that reality. The commercial upside for Crawford is undeniable. He's always been a respected fighter, a perennial contender in the pound-for-pound rankings. But he lacked that mainstream appeal, that ability to draw casual fans. This fight changes everything. Suddenly, he's a household name, recognizable to people who might not even follow boxing. He's got the potential to become a crossover star, to leverage his fame into endorsements and other opportunities. And it's not just about the money. It's about the influence, the ability to inspire and connect with people on a deeper level. His commercial value now is higher than ever before. It's a golden opportunity for him to capitalize on this newfound fame and build a lasting legacy both inside and outside the ring. Now, the big question is, what's next? And the truth is, it's a complex equation. Retirement is always looming, especially at this stage of their careers. 35 and 37 are not exactly young ages in the brutal sport of boxing. There's a point where the recovery process becomes more challenging, where the risks outweigh the rewards. But I don't think either of them is ready to hang up the gloves just yet. Not with the momentum Crawford has, not with the opportunity for continued success, and not with the lure of those massive paydays. The rematch possibility is the elephant in the room. It's the biggest fight they could make, the one that everyone wants to see. It's almost a certainty, to be honest. The Saudis are clearly invested in boxing, and they want to continue to promote their brand on a global stage. That whole Riyadh season thing, it's all about showcasing Saudi Arabia to the world. And what better way to do that than by putting on a blockbuster boxing event? They're locked in with Canelo, so that makes things even more interesting. It's all about the return on investment, and a rematch between these two would be a guaranteed moneymaker. And that's where the power shifts. Crawford holds the leverage now. He's the champion. He's the one who dictated the terms of the fight. He can demand whatever he wants. He can control the narrative, and that's a powerful position to be in. It's a far cry from the days when he was fighting on smaller cards, struggling to get noticed. This is a new era for Crawford, an era of unprecedented opportunity and influence. Beyond the potential rematch, who else could be on Crawford's radar? Hamza Shars is a name that keeps popping up. He's clearly a favorite of the promoters, and he's got the skills to
be one of the greatest of all time if he retired today.
Now, for Canelo, do you think he should retire after this fight or keep going?
Well, Canelo, if he wants to continue making money, then he could still go make a lot of money because there's a lot of money out there. He's got the support from Mexican.
That knockout over Belonga was impressive, and he's definitely on the rise. I wouldn't be surprised to see him get a shot at one of them down the line. Eubank, well, his situation is complicated. He's got to deal with that Martinez rematch first, and frankly, that fight wouldn't be very entertaining. It would likely be a one-sided affair, and nobody wants to see that. It's best to leave that one in the past. Bivol is another interesting possibility, but that would require him to move down in weight. He's a big man, and it wouldn't be an easy transition. But if he's serious about wanting to fight Crawford, he's willing to make the sacrifice. He's got that fight versus Better BF seemingly off the table, but it's a testament to what we can expect. There's a certain level of respect. Crawford's shutdown of a fight with Bout was noteworthy, too. It sends a clear message. He's only interested in fighting the best, and he's not going to waste his time with anyone who doesn't pose a serious threat. Ultimately, I think the rematch is the most likely outcome. But regardless of what happens next, we need to appreciate the significance of this moment. Crawford put on a performance that will be talked about for years to come. He proved himself to be one of the greatest fighters of his generation, a true champion in every sense of the word. And he did it with class, with skill, and with a level of composure that is rarely seen in the sport. It was a night for boxing fans to rejoice. It's nights like these that remind us of the magic and the excitement of the sport. It's a reminder that there's still a hunger for big fight nights, a desire to witness greatness. And while the landscape of boxing may be changing, the thrill of competition, the drama, the skill, that will never go away. But now, let's turn to you, the audience. What did you think of the fight? Did the scorecards reflect the action? What are your thoughts on Canelo's performance? And what do you see happening next for these two warriors? Drop your comments below. Let's hear your perspectives, and let's keep this conversation going. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, the insights, the analysis, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel. It truly does make a difference. It really helps support the production and bring you more content like this. It's a small gesture, but it means a lot. Thanks for watching, folks, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ultimately, this night wasn't just about a fight. It was a testament to perseverance, a clash of legacies, and a thrilling glimpse into the future of boxing. Crawford's victory forces us to ask, how will Canelo respond to this profound challenge? And what other heights can Bud reach as he continues to redefine greatness